Hi Kevin, Rose here. I am contacting you from Ireland. You might guess from the accent. I am in my little home office with a very quirky little window behind me. This is actually between two rooms, but it's an old house. So I recently connected with Building the Future on Twitter, and I got your message about reaching out to be on the podcast. And I reached out to my team to see if somebody might take that on, and it promptly got bounced back to me. So we're a group of volunteers here in Ireland that believe really strongly in the potential of remote work to support rural communities. Of course, we're kind of supporting other groups within that as well, but our core of what we're trying to do is have jobs available to people that aren't necessarily living in large urban areas. So a bunch of us that are really into rural regeneration and supporting economies in smaller communities and that came together, and it started out as a group of us in WhatsApp, and it has now grown into a full-on movement. Now, we had been very much focused and still are on doing it in Ireland, but we're branching out without even particularly trying. So a lady called Tracy Keogh, who works with one of the major banks here in Ireland, she pretty much is the driving force behind all of this, and she's brought us together. She's an amazing dot joiner, and we, as I started out in WhatsApp group, the idea came about to do a conference. So the conference was to be for September last year, late September. 5 weeks before, we didn't know where it was going to be, so we asked communities all over Ireland to pitch for it. Had, I think, 9 up to nearly 40 pitches. We brought that down to 10, and then the 3, Tracy visited the 3 locations, and Tralee and County Kerry won out. They were just amazing with what they offered. And then through our network, we brought in speakers from all over the world, various different areas. So we actually had one of the programmers from Microsoft came in on conference call. One of our team wasn't able to make it, so he was there via robot, scooting around on the day. Just amazing stuff happening with it. And then after the conference, which was hugely successful, and even on the day there was a company based in Dublin that were looking to move out of Dublin because they had very young families working for them, and the families themselves were ready to just up and move to somewhere with a better quality of life. So they were just looking for a hub more so to base out of, and that they could have the option between working at the hub or working from home as suited. And they met somebody who was setting up a co-working hub at the event that day. So we've gone on, I don't know if you've come across a platform called ChangeX. They're actually an Irish company, but what they do is they find scalable, repeatable projects globally, and they give them a platform that if I have an idea of how to do something and it's going to be repeatable, the process is put up on ChangeX, and then somebody else can come along and basically easily repeat it, and there's a certain amount of support put there. So we've done that, and we have 43 chapters started. We've got one now in Portugal, in Spain. There's talks of one being set up in the US. There's talks of another being set up in Munich. And really it hadn't been our intention, but we realised that the more dots that are joined, the better. So that's us. We would love to be able to tell our story. If you think that's of interest, please do reach out. Like we do want to offer information for the companies, but really our bigger focus is to help the individuals and the communities, and to support them. But we do realise that like one of the things we'll be doing is to encourage companies that haven't necessarily embraced remote working to do so. So we had one of our team meetings just before this, and they're talking about meeting people that are working for Dell, and how these 2 people who are working remotely for Dell in the same part of Ireland never knew they were, and both were under the impression that they were the only ones doing this. They were told by their direct managers, 2 different managers, that this was a one-off. Dell is, we've had one of our people down to talk to them. They are definitely considering increasing the remote working, but the culture there is still really cautious. And of course then there's the whole issue of isolation is another thing that we're looking to try and bridge the gap there. So let us know. I'll send you some more details about who we are and what we're up to, and perhaps I'll talk to you at some point in the future. Hope you're having a great day. It's nice and rainy outside here, real typical Irish weather, but we've had a very mild winter up to this week, so can't complain too much, and nice and cosy indoors. So There you go. All the best. Bye.